This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ready.
Standing by.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
So, unfortunately, I don't think you heard a word I said just now. But what I said is, that was the male kudu, this is the African bush, and welcome to Safari Live. My name is Brent. I have a dangerous Dave, the dish.
Oh, that's proper introduction.
No proper introduction.
Come now.
The dish on camera today with me. He wants me to call him the downpour. Yes, a downpour of nonsense is what comes from his mouth. But we are in the middle of a nice little mixed group of animals. We've got this kudu all around us. There's that really big male with the dark neck over there. The other male's meandered off. There we go. And here we go. You can see him reaching up. There's probably about 20 kudu around here. There's 2 big males that I've seen. Lots of youngsters. Lots of females. There's some impala as well out and about. Oh, look at that. He's having a scratch. Really working that little guarri bush. He's broken it. Now, he's actually done that to make it easier to feed. And there's actually very few species of antelope that do that. Kudu and eland are actually 2 of the species that will often break branches with their horns to bring it down to a bit of an easier feeding height. But it's not something you see too often, so what a great way to start. Anyway, you see there's a little baby coming in behind him. And there's a female off to the right. Those impala have skedaddled. They were around. And there's that little one. Now, Chris says it's sure nice to see a bit of green returning after the rain. It is, and I think a lot of the herbivores are ecstatic at the greenery returning. But there's some zebra there as well. Let's just maneuver ourselves. So it's quite chilly, about 22 degrees Celsius, so 71 Fahrenheit. And we haven't got too far before we got surrounded by all sorts of creatures. Oh, there's Herbie. Very loud Herbert. And let me just chat to him there. Let's see what Herbie's got to say. I'll leave him open for you. Standing by, Herb.
I've got vision of 2 dogs on Leadwood, not Fallen Marula, where we had the English sighting the other day.
Copy, thanks, Herb. So Herb's seen some elephants. We're quite far away from here. I think by the time we get all the way there, they'll be gone. But we'll maybe meander. I'm sure there's some more ellies around. But you can see lots and lots of kudus. Now, where did those zebras disappear before Herbie scared the living daylights out of me? They should be there now. Now, after the great excitement of last night with the incredible Nkuhumas taking down that big buffalo bull, Dave and I are sort of going to take a more placid drive unless we bump into wild dogs, leopard hunting, or cheetah, or anything like that. But I'm definitely excited to look for some of the migrant bird species that might be back. And of course, have a look at the much happier grazers and browsers. There we go. That's a male zebra. Now, apart from the obvious appendages, you you have a look at their body, their neck is quite a bit thicker than the females. This is actually a little bachelor group of males. So they're quite young. They haven't been able to challenge for a harem yet, so both of them are little boys. They're keeping each other company until they become arch enemies and start competing for females. And necks will thicken out quite a bit, and they need those thick necks as protection when they fight. And a zebra can be an incredibly violent animal, raining down bites and kicks. Looks like they're going off to join the kurus, heading into the bush. So we're going to do the same. We're going to work the south today, the south and the west. Maybe take a little trundle across to Arethusa if the mood so takes us. But before then, we're going to check around Sydney's Waterhole, Aubrey's Dam, this whole southern section. Remember, this is a live African safari, and you can send me questions about what we're seeing, or if you're wondering about last night's kill. And you can do that by using the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter, or pop an email to questions@wildearth.tv. Well, in the meantime, enough of me gabbing on. Let's go say a good evening to Tayla.
Hello everybody and welcome to another cloud-filled sunset safari. My name is Tayla and on camera with me I've got Wium. There's Wium. Right, so you won't believe what we've managed to relocate. Obviously it was not very hard because Brent did such a sterling job with the buffalo last night, and the lions are actually still around. Have a look at this long range distance visual that we have of the lions. This is where the binoculars come in handy, unless you have got eyes like Wium, who can spot them right off the bat. There they are. Well, there's some of them. Now we need to just try and find the road that everybody used last night to get into them. So I'm probably going to have to turn around and try and access them somewhere from the dam. Right. Now we get to do some fun exploring, everybody. Let me quickly reverse. And then we're just going to do a 67-point turn. Oh, actually, no, in a small... No, I'm going to stall first. I'm in Rusty today. It's very different from driving Wendy. It sounds silly, but the whole clutch is completely different. That's my excuse, and it's cold. Right, and I must say thank you to all the viewers yesterday for all those lovely screenshots that you took of the buffalo sighting. It was nice to be able to share some of them and have a look at them. While I was sitting in final control, watching all the action take place, I was envious that I was not out in the bush yesterday. But still quite amazing to watch it anyway. And we've got lots of vultures too. So before we get to those lions, we're going to find a little gap just to have a look at the vultures. Let's get a nice gap through here. There's a little gap. You can see one or two vultures. Wium, do you have a message? Wium says, thank you so much, and he hopes that you have a fantastic day, James. Thank you for the warm welcome back. So Wium's been on a wonderful holiday, everybody. He's fresh and he's ready, and he's been demanding leopard, everybody. Can you believe it? I don't blame him. It's going to be... hopefully by the time we get around to these lions, they're going to wake up, or at least have a little drink for us. I suspect that when you've been feeding on buffalo all evening, it's quite exhausting. And those lionesses did an incredible job on bringing that buffalo down in actually such a short space of time. It was very impressive. I've only heard of the tales of how these Nkuhumas ladies hunt, and my goodness, they're spectacular. Really are killing machines. There's lots and lots of vultures around, everybody. Most of them are white-backed vultures that you got to have a look at. And they gave me the runaround now because they're all scattered out everywhere. So we tried to find a tree that had the most vultures on it, and then think that the lions were there. But now we need to just try and find a way in. to this lion sighting. Whoop. We'll go back and around the other side of the dam, and I suspect we may be able to find a way in over there. And I'm very lucky to get them to stay on our property as well. My goodness, they were very close to the boundary. If that buffalo had a little bit more... We're going to go here. Ah. So Wium is just directing me. Oh, this looks easy enough, eh, Wium? We're going to go down there and then up there. See, Wium knows the property very well now. So he's helping me as to where the easiest places are to go off the road. Oh, this seems easy enough. Woo, woo. Now, I know a few of you are probably wondering how much meat is going to be left on this carcass. So am I. So Zaki, we're going to find out shortly, I suspect. Oh, let's see. I don't see any vehicle tracks from any of the other guards. So we obviously didn't go off the same spot, but they're in here somewhere. We just have to go around a little bit. And just excuse us while we bumble through. It's not very thick vegetation. Weaving and bobbing and weaving through the African bush. Did you see them again, Wium? I just see an old buffalo that was killed here. Ah, is that not the one there? Maybe not. Let me just double check, everybody. No, I've spotted a termite mound. Okay, well, should we go check a little bit further up? What do you think? We know they're in here somewhere, everybody, so we just need to find exactly the right gap through. So I think Brent has got a feathered bird of prey for you. Why don't you head over and have a look at that while I meander through here?
Now, this is a bit of a tricky one because it's a juvenile. And I wonder who's out there ready to bird this afternoon. I'm ready to bird. So this is our first bird quiz of the Sunset Safari. What bird is that? And it is a juvenile. It's got an itchy ear. Look at those talons. Aren't they absolutely incredible? Now, this particular species is a great hunter of birds, particularly guinea fowl, francolin, but of course, all little rodents and things like that. And this is a juvenile. So if you know what bird this is, send your answers through to questions@wildearth.tv or #SafariLive. Now, I'm hoping to find some of the migrant bird species this afternoon. This is not one of them. This is one of our resident eagles. And I'm pretty sure this one was probably born on Djuma as well. Now, it's a true eagle, feathers all the way down the legs, and that's all the clues I'm giving you. There we go. Let's carry on. Now, with this little bit of green flush we've got around, all the impala seem to have a spring in their step. And speaking of impala with a spring in their step, there we go, springing across the road. Well, not quite. And a young male. And you can see it picked up condition relatively quickly. And that's the joy of being a great generalist. So impala is not a specialist, it's a generalist. And they'll feed off both grass and leaves. And that enables them to live through quite a variety of habitats. Okay. And there's the rest of the group. Now, some of the females have already started to show signs of pregnancy. So let's have a look at this herd. Now, Jamie was telling me she saw baby warthogs the other day, and that's very early, probably about 2 months too early. I think the first impala babies we should be seeing are around November. So in about a month and a bit's time. But if we look carefully on some of the females, you can see the bellies are starting to get quite pronounced. All their bottoms, and taking advantage of all the new grass flush. See, some of them still looking a bit skitty, but they should pick it up quite quickly. Now, of course, that is if we get more rain. Now, there's an old sort of folklore here in the South African lowveld that if you get rain before Paul Kruger's birthday, and of course Paul Kruger is who the Kruger National Park was named after. He was a president of South Africa, and his birthday is the 10th of October. So it's an old folklore. If you get rain before Paul Kruger's birthday, you're going to have a very dry year, and you're not going to get any rain till January. Well, let's hope that old folklore runs false. Look at them picking up all that lovely new green flush. Now, a lot of people often think, oh my goodness, there's no grass. And just because you can't see the grasses doesn't mean it's not there. So most grass species, actually all grass species, the growing point of the grass is actually under the ground. And it's one of their defensive mechanisms. And a lot of grass species out here can lie dormant for a couple of years if they need to, waiting for the correct amount of moisture to let them flush. Okay, let's move on. So well done to Tasha, Joanne and Gert and many, many others. You are spot on. It is indeed a juvenile African hawk eagle. Oh, we're going to have to find some tougher birds for you. Dave, are you up to the challenge? Oh, yes, Dave is. There we go. Bye-bye, impalalas. Ooh, well, before we disappear quickly, just straight ahead. It's not a... okay, a little bit to the right, Dave. Center. There we go. Wait for him to turn around. There it is. Look how beautiful that is. Even in this dull, grey day, wait for that little bird to turn and face us. That is an absolutely gorgeous little seed eater called a golden-breasted bunting. Now, please, sir, show us your golden breast. Dave thought that was funny. You can hear him giggling behind me. Now, of course, it's the males that have the golden breast, and they're more brightly coloured. Oh, he popped onto the ground, directly below, on the ground. Come out a bit, out a bit. I'll show you a little bit to the left. And centre screen, there he is. Not really showing us his golden breast there. I mean, let's see if we can get him to turn around. Psst, 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 psst. There we go, just seeing glimmers of that. Now, when that catches the light, it is absolutely spectacular. There we go. We've got 2 bird species so far. I think that's a fair start. There we go. There we go. Show us that beautiful chest. And you can see, looking for little seeds. Okay, so let's leave Mr. Bunting to carry on feeding. And while he feeds, Tayla's got something that's been fed upon.
We have found the dead buffalo, everybody. No, it hasn't moved, in case you were wondering. It's still dead. And you can see that the lions have actually eaten quite a large chunk out of this buffalo. They've completely devoured the hindquarters, which is quite amazing. You can see that. Look at that. Just some bones. And look at all the lovely flies that have now come through to deposit their eggs inside this buffalo. So I presume in a few days' time, we're going to have lots of maggots. And there's so many different species of flies here. Now, the Diptera family, which is the family that flies belong to, there are thousands of species. And they're quite beautiful, actually. Small ones, big ones. And you can see all the ticks as well. And some of them have started to move away. You can see them at the bottom middle of your screen. You can see a few moving. Now, they won't be able to suck any more blood. There's no blood running through this buffalo anymore. So some of them may have died. The others are probably going to let go and try and find a new host. But it's quite disgusting. Imagine being covered in so many parasites. Must be very itchy. And that's why we also constantly see the buffalo, the elephants, impala, you name it, all the mammals, scratching on branches, on fallen logs, on termite mounds, just to try and relieve some of the infestation of these parasites. And the lions are here too, everybody, but they are sleeping. You can just see a carpet of lovely tan color on the ground, all with their heads flat on the ground, stomachs nice and full. This is wonderful. They look fast asleep. And that's sort of how I feel like after Christmas. Oh, we've got movement from one of the Birmingham. Ah, it's our friend with the injury on his face. Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. So, like Brent did... Sorry, I'm just trying to hear a quick question. So, Brent did predict that one of the males were going to be here. I'm not surprised that there aren't any more, but the amount of distress calls that this buffalo was giving off. And I know CDS was wondering the same thing, was wondering if one of the big Birminghams was going to arrive. And possibly with the build-up of vultures around this area, because there's quite a few vultures all scattered around, maybe some more of the Birminghams are going to join. I'm sure if they see them perched up in a tree, they're not going to just walk past. They're going to come around and definitely have a look and see what's there. I need to go forward just a little bit so that VM can get a better shot of this female. Oh. There we go. Now you can see her entire face. Hello. And they're still quite a little bit dirty though. They look like they have cleaned themselves off a little bit after last night. Some of them covered in stomach juices and feces, and there was lots of blood. So it's good to know that they are still practicing good hygiene. So what are you going to do? You're just going to sit and look at us? Now, what these lions will know, she's going back to sleep for a little bit longer. But hopefully what's going to happen, it is a nice cool afternoon, is that I'm hoping that while we're sitting here, we are going to get some of them coming over to feed again on the buffalo. And even though those stomachs are extremely extended, they're going to try and eat sort of every hour or so. They rest, sort of gorge themselves, rest again, come back, gorge themselves, and so it goes on. There's one of the little cubs. Well, there's a pile of cubs on the left, and the one on the right, he was sitting up, slowly starting to wake up. But they're all huddled together. Like I said, it's a bit chilly. It's 72 degrees Fahrenheit out here, so it's not as warm as what we've been having it. And we're actually in quite a nice spot, everybody, so that if these lions do get up and come towards us, they're pretty much going to be eating right next to the vehicle. And they'll be quite comfortable with doing that. So the wind has got my hair and it's blowing all over in my face now. It's a struggle that I have to live with. But it's quite gross. I don't know, can you see inside that stomach? Look at that cavity, where all those organs were. You see that? Well, they pulled the stomach out. There's just sort of feces left inside there. And all the flies creeping into every little crevice. It's quite lovely. I hope I haven't put any of you off your dinner tonight. That definitely wasn't my idea behind it, but it is nature. And to catch something like that was caught on camera last night is pretty spectacular. I can count on my hands how many times I've seen a hunt from either leopards and lions start to finish. So that was spectacular. As gruesome as what it was, those lions need to eat to feed all those little cubs. And I know that all of you don't want to see the little cubs die. So that's what has to happen. Old Buffalo Bill has to sacrifice his life to provide life to the young cubs and the females to keep them nice and healthy. But I think, why don't we try and get a little bit of a better shot of these lions? What does everybody think? I think so. Right. So, Jean from North Carolina, good afternoon to you. Now, I know you're wondering if all 5 Nkuhumas are there. Now, I'm not sure. We're going to go and find out. I want to try and get a better position. And hopefully I'll be able to tell you then, because I do know that one of them was missing. I think it was Amber Eyes that was missing last night, if I'm not mistaken. So we shall go and we shall count. I'm going to go over a few little trees, but nothing too big. Past a smelly buffalo. It's even starting to smell already, which is quite surprising, seeing as it's been so cool. Oh, I can see a little bit of movement from some of the cubs, which is good news for us. And we've got a female lifting her head up. Just going to go over this little shrub here. Hi, big girl. Beautiful. Lovely lioness. I'm going to carry on going forward because I want to get a shot. There's some of these little ones that are now waking up quite nicely. Hello, lions. Oh no, it's okay, relax. Don't mind me coming through here. It's okay. Sorry everybody, I'm driving over a few leaves and branches. So they've just lifted their head, but I can imagine that they're going to go straight back to sleep. I don't think they've had to lift their heads. Oh, we've got a big yawn. His teeth are nice and clean. Nice and sharp. Now let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have got all the lionesses back in action with our friend, the big male, who unfortunately has the big gaping hole in his face. But I don't see any maggots moving around just yet, which is a good sign. So hopefully those maggots that did cause the infestation have now pupated and fallen out, and hopefully that wound will be able to heal, which is good. It doesn't look bad. It's not inflamed at all. Well, that's good. It'll be something nice to watch over the next few weeks to see how that heals. But so far he seems good. The fact that he's also eaten, you can see he's got a nice big belly. That's good too. That means it can't be causing him too much pain. I'm sure it's causing him irritation. Here you go. You can see him wiping it. Maybe there is a fly. Maybe there is something moving around in there. Well, those of you who remember when we first saw this wound when it had burst, it was quite revolting at all the maggots. But it looks clean. It actually looks really good. To me, from the photos that I last took, it looks like that wound is healing quite nicely. That's very exciting. Now, I think he shall make a full recovery. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be optimistic. But these lions are so resilient and so tough that they can overcome most things. There we go, another big yawn with those lovely teeth. And is this my favorite lioness? Yes, it looks like the youngest. Are you going to go over and have a bite to eat? I hope you are, because we would like to see some action. Oh yes. And we've got the Birmingham up and in hot pursuit. So we think that this young lioness is coming into estrus. And that is why for the last few days he has been tailing her. Oh my goodness, they're coming right past my vehicle, everybody. Look at that, you see? Trying to sniff. Hello, boy. Even with your big scar on the face, you're not letting anything stop you. That's good. That shows you again that he must be alright. He must be fine. She doesn't look too particularly interested in mating. Let's see what his next reaction is going to be. No, just going to sit close by and make sure she doesn't move out of sight. Every day, though, I think that these Birminghams are looking bigger and stronger. It's nice to see their manes are all filling out now. Now we just need to wait for that last bit of mane to creep over the shoulder and down towards the elbow and join on that tuft of hair right over there. And then they're almost there, though. He's still got dirty paws. He hasn't cleaned his paw. Right, I just need to update the radio very quickly. No, I can't because someone else is speaking. All having a good rest. They seem to slowly be moving closer and closer to that carcass. Heidi, you are hysterical. Heidi says that these lions deserve a good sleep. She slept 9 hours and she didn't even hunt anything. I agree with you, Heidi. Let me just quickly chat on the radio. Rex and Taylor. Which mobile was looking for approach for this Nkuhumas sighting? No one wants... You're welcome to make your approach. It's just myself here. Right, there we go. Just a little update on the radio. Though I think everybody came to have a look at these lions this morning. So it seems like everybody's looking for spotted cats today. So that's good for us. It means that we'll hopefully be able to spend a little bit of time with them and hopefully see them from sleeping to waking up, grooming, yawning, as we've already seen. Maybe even some mating if we're lucky, as well as hopefully eating on a carcass. Now see that girl over there having a good old scratch. Very well done on these Nkuhumas. There we go, big, good lick. So we were looking at that gaping hole on the face of the Birmingham male, and I know Tamira, who has obviously missed the last few days, so it's good to have you back, Tamira. So just a little recap. That male unfortunately got some form of a fly, and I suspect a bot fly. Perhaps it laid its eggs inside his face. Now bot flies, their larval stage needs a live host in order for them to survive, and often what it does is it causes an abscess-like wound on their face, and that's what we thought. A few days before that I was with him, we noticed how he had this big swelling up on his face, and we couldn't quite work out what it was with the tiny little gash. So maybe something he got swiped in the face by a female and made an open wound, and then this bot fly laid its eggs in that open wound. And then what happened was that those eggs would have hatched. It's obviously in warm flesh. It's a good hatching environment. It's hot. It's quite humid. And once it hatched, it then started eating away at all the live flesh. So we saw quite a few maggots inside of that wound, and it was quite gruesome. We were all quite confused by it. We didn't know what had happened, but I think the fact that we saw those maggots straight after that wound burst, that's what happened. And now it's called myiasis. I just want to very quickly check which myiasis we decided that it was. I think it was obligatory, if I'm not mistaken. I just did make a note about it. It's actually quite an in-depth thing, and it's something new to a lot of us that we weren't 100% sure about. Where is my myiasis notes? I always carry a notebook with me, everybody. Yes, it's called obligatory myiasis. Now, you get different types of myiasis, which is quite interesting. Accidental happens quite often to your dogs and cats that you have at home, where they may eat something from the garbage, and say there are some maggots or something already that's been feeding on some old food. And they pass that through into the stomach, and that can often cause your dogs or your cats to be quite sick, so causing vomiting and diarrhea. But that's not anything serious. A few days later, they pass it back out again, and then they're good to go. And then the second kind is affeculative, which is where you get these larvals that need to, or they can either feed on living flesh or they can feed on rotting flesh. It doesn't have to be alive. And that accidentally happens as well, where maybe something like the lion's had an open wound on its face or on its paw anywhere, and it was feeding on a carcass that had these larvae in it, and then got the larvae transported inside it. But things like botflies will intentionally lay their eggs in open wounds. So it was quite interesting to see, because a lot of the documents that I was trying to read up about this meiosis, I couldn't find any that had been recorded from start to finish. But I do want to speak to some vets about it, as some wildlife vets, and see if they possibly haven't seen it. But now we've got our own living subject, everybody, and we've seen it from the beginning. We now can see that there's no more maggots inside that Birmingham's wound, which is quite exciting. So the next thing is he going to survive, or how quickly is that wound going to close? Is he going to get secondary infection? But I think he'll be okay. The fact that there's no more swelling around that wound, I think he's doing all right. You can't see it now. It's hidden behind the youngest Nkuhumas female. But when he gets up again, and I'm sure we'll get a better angle at some point, we'll be able to have another look at it. It's very, very interesting. I'm very excited. I've been taking notes every time I see him, just to note his progression, and he seems to be getting better, much better. Quite amazing. Very exciting that we're able to watch these subjects and this is how you learn, everybody. So Zaki from Kenya wants to know, is this the father of the cubs? Now, we're unsure exactly which Birmingham was the one to be mating with all these females, because there are 4 Birminghams, Zaki, and they would have been hanging around and mating with all of these females when they come into estrus. So often what happens, like we've just saw earlier, I don't know if you managed to see it, where that Birmingham male was following the young female. He's not letting her out of her sight, and it's been like this now for a few days actually. We can see that he's just about lying on top of her. Oh, here we go. He lifts his head up. And we suspect that she's coming to estrus. She must only be about 3 years old, maybe just younger than 3 years. So it'll be her first time that she's coming into estrus. And it's going to be quite exciting to see who she's going to be mating with. I don't know if anybody's seen these two mating just yet. She did separate for a day with one of the other Birminghams. And now she seems to be back with the pride. And normally for about 2 or 3 days, you'll see one male mating with a female. And then when he's exhausted, he'll move off, and then another male usually moves in if it is a coalition of more than one lion. So we will see. And when I'm not 100% sure as to who's the father of each, but they're all brothers in a sense, and they're all quite happy to live together, so they all mate with all the different females. But you can see there, that wound is not very deep anymore. It seems to be filling out quite nicely. You can see that. It's an incredible improvement from what we've seen. That's very exciting. I'm very happy with that. Not that I'm a vet or anything, this is just my own opinion. No swelling anymore. And if you have a look though, I'm sure everybody will be able to share some screenshots from the previous drives of before that wound actually burst, and then you can see what I mean when I say it looked like an abscess. Quite comfortable. Every now and then he lifts his paw just to swipe at his face, and I'm sure it's a bit itchy and a bit irritating. But no maggots, no sign of maggots. That's good, because we didn't know what was going to happen and how those maggots were going to get out. But obviously they just ate their fill and then dropped off and pupated, and then the whole cycle will start again. Hopefully that wound will heal quick enough before some more botflies can lay their eggs in there. You can see that female's just lifted her head now. Now you see they're a fair distance away from that carcass, everybody. Now they're probably about 30 meters or so, and that's quite risky, because something like a jackal, even a hyena, could quickly run in and take a few mouthfuls of that hyena carcass. So I think when they do hear something, they are very quick to put their head up, and just to make sure that they they don't lose their carcass. Sorry everybody, I need to just talk on the radio. Standing by, it's Tayla here. Yeah, FM, you're welcome to. It'll be number 3. Mobile says now 2 on lock with the Ngonyam and Rexon on approach. Now, there is another vehicle joining the sighting, so that's probably also what they were hearing in the distance. I think we've got a nice good spot here. We've got a view of all the lions, everyone. Look at that little one there having a scratch. Hello, little teddy bear. Let's count the cubs, everybody. We've got 1, 2, 3 in clear view. Now, VM, can we go over to the bundle of cubs, please? Just to have a look. Let's see there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kitty, kitty, bang, bang. There are all 8 cubs here. How exciting is that? They've all got a lovely full bellies as well, which is quite nice. You can see they're slowly waking up. Just giving one of the females some love. Oh, they're all woken up now. There we go. Sort of like the skittles when you go bowling, how all the pins sort of just disperse. Yes, wake up, little ones. It's time to go and eat. Oh, they're exhausted. This is definitely movie weather, everybody. These little ones don't see. That one's just gone back to sleep again, going, I'm not ready for this. It's like a Monday. Oh, it is Sunday, so they're allowed to be lazy. And the big ones are getting so greedy now. They just want to eat and eat and eat. You can see the ones on the... Oh, they're hiding away. It's very difficult for us to see them. But there's 2 having an argument. So I don't want to move too much now, just because I think we have got a good spot. And there is another vehicle around and one more coming in. So I want to leave some room for them to maneuver. So we'll have to do with these. But it's nice. And we've got a good view. Hello. Look at those lovely eyes. You're hungry? No? You just want to come and say hello? Hello. Oh, that's lovely, everybody. Remember to take screenshots and to hashtag Safari Live for Twitter with your screenshots, or if you've got any questions. And if you don't have Twitter, you're welcome to either send some of those screenshots to us or ask us some more questions on it via email. And that address is questions@wildearth.tv. And I look forward to hearing from all of you, sorry. Very itchy. But you saw, they get lots of ticks, they get fleas, they get all sorts of things. So at least they can have a good scratch. And you've got one going to the toilet in the background. Oh, this is lovely. Look at this amazing interaction between the female and this cub. Wake up. Now, something that we're going to try and look at when we eventually get these lions up and feeding on that buffalo carcass, it's something that Monty was asking, and actually I must tell you, Wium was saying the same thing earlier, is Monty wants to know, do those lions eat any of the ticks that we saw on that buffalo while they're feeding? Now, my suspicion is I think they ingest a few in the commotion of bringing the lion down, but often what you'll see is that they lick where they want to eat first, so they lick all the hair away. That will also remove all the parasites, and then they sort of spit it out. You see them pulling funny faces, and then they will, once all that hair is removed, then they will tear into the flesh like that. So I don't think they eat too many, but I think it's inevitable that they get 1 or 2. I mean, those ticks are rather large. They're like the size of your nail on your index finger. So if you have a look at your index finger, they're big ticks, and some of them are even up to the size of the nail on your thumb. Now, a lion would know if it was just gradually eating, it would definitely feel that in its mouth, and I think it would try and spit it out. I mean, you see them when they groom themselves as well. Well, they lick, 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 and then they get a tick that ends up at the back of their teeth, and they sort of pull those faces that I'm talking about and then spit it out. Just want to ask Rexon if he'll take over the sighting for me, just so I can keep talking to you and not have to worry about my radio. Oh. Oh goodness, oh, the lions didn't like that, I'm afraid. These cubs are quite sensitive still, they're still getting used to the vehicles. Rexon, can you please take over this lock when you get in here? I'm still gonna stay for a little bit if there's no pressure. There we go, sorted the radio out. Rexon's going to take control for me so I can focus on all of you and these lovely little lions. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. That can make an amazing wallpaper, everybody. Just the eyes peering over Mom's belly. Now, they all seem to be suckling off one of the females a lot more than any of the others. So perhaps she's producing quite a bit more milk. All right, these two are having a little play. Look at those little pads on their feet. They still look lovely and soft. Haven't quite worn and become used to the hard ground like mom and dad's paws would have. They sort of got a lot more cracks and a lot harder and rougher than these youngsters. One's going to, what are you going to the toilet right there near your siblings? That's nice. That's the expression that the lions do. Done now? Yes. Move on. There's quite a bit of wind. I wish you could hear this. I don't know if you can. I think it's a bit too far away and a bit too windy. But that older cub that we saw just using the luxury bathroom is now complaining. There it comes back because Mom said no more milk for you. Yes. Oh, size does matter. You can see that older cub withstood that younger cub's attack. There we go. Oh, wrestling. I know that many of us have said this, and we'll say it again in case we have any new viewers. This is all cute and very sweet to watch how they play and pull each other around. However, this is very important for the development of these cubs. As they get older, they're going to have to start hunting too. So biting and learning to trip each other, ankle tapping, these are all very good techniques that they need to perfect by the time they go off hunting, or when Mom decides to take them hunting. Look, this one's we're just going to jump all over you. And Mom's very tolerant of the cubs. So there's one female, I think the mother of the oldest cubs, that is not so tolerant anymore. She seems to push them off quite a bit. As those older cubs are going to be weaned soon. They usually normally get weaned at about 6 months old. However, because there's younger cubs around, they are going to try and sneak a suckle, because the other females will still be pretty. Yeah, there we go. But my tail too hard, being reprimanded. No, it may have seemed quite aggressive, but it's all noise, all talk and no action. And now what? No, that little one's not coming back to say sorry. It's going to sulk. No, also going to the toilet. Everybody's using the luxuries today, all at the same time. And perhaps these little ones are going to start annoying the moms like we just saw now, and maybe they get up and they say, right, let's go eat. Let's go do something else. Slid straight off Mom's bum. No, Mom is not a jungle gym. You cannot just climb on her like that. Goodness gracious, if I did that to my mother, I would have been in a lot of trouble. That little one's not interested in suckling, it just wants to play. You see what I mean when I say it's the older ones, the two oldest that are the greedy two, and they just want to suckle, when it should be the youngest ones that are trying to get every bit of milk that they can. Now, these older ones have got an entire buffalo carcass to feed on, but of course nothing quite tastes like mother's milk. There we go, trying to win another female over. You can hear the slight growling saying, I'm not interested, go and bother your brothers and sisters. Oh no, now this one's walking into dangerous territory because this is the grumpy female. This is the one that I think has sort of losing her tolerance for all the cubs. You can see that very displeased look on her face. No, you're being nice, you're just rubbing your head, you're not biting me. Okay, I'm not going to growl at you, that's good. Just craving attention though, like children that are 2 or 3 years old. Anybody that's willing to give them attention, they're quite happy with. But cub was also not interested. Shame, no one wants to play with you. Oh, now I'm itchy. Bit of a scratch. Those cubs are greedy gutses. Oh, hello. The female going back. I know we're looking behind the trees. Look at this little one's excited. Oh, someone else to say hello to. Hello. No, not interested. Now I wonder if this is not mom of these cubs. Just because she's quite happily taking the biting on the leg, she gave a good little lick. She seems to be a little bit more tolerant, and as I've said before, is that the mother of her own cubs is more tolerant than of one of the other female's cubs, but she'll happily suckle the other female's cubs too, and flat. Well, at least we can say thank you to the cubs for being, or for providing us with some entertainment today. I think I'm going to try and hang around with these lions just for a little longer. Hopefully we get to see them eat something. But let's jump on the back of Brent's vehicle, who I believe has got the tallest animal in Africa.
We had the tallest animal in Africa, and can you believe it tolled itself into the bush? And we'll see if we can get another view now. Look like 2 female giraffe. Oh, they're not being very friendly, female giraffe. There you go. Hello, madam. Are they down in the thickets? And what's she feeding on? A Timbuktu tree. Now, they have possibly one of the longest tongues in the world, for a mammal at least, outside, of course, probably the anteaters. Oh, she's gone. They're not being very nice to us. Let's see, where'd the other one go? They've both gone. Not feeling very friendly, those giraffe. Oh, just make her out through the thickets. Let me just try. That's, I think, about the best view we're going to get of that giraffe. Now, we were talking about their tongue. Now, it's a prehensile tongue, so they're able to move it and wrap it around things and strip leaves. And I wonder if anyone out there knows how long a giraffe's tongue gets. You can give it to me in centimeters, or you can give it to me in inches. Let me know, how long is a giraffe's tongue? Remember, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or questions at wildearth.tv. Now, one of the interesting things about a giraffe, and is very different from a lot of the other animals we get out here, is that they see in color. So most antelope, most animals see in various shades of grey, but a giraffe are able to see in color. it's quite an interesting thing because that normally something like seeing in colour is an evolutionary adaptation. So things like primates, like us, we see in colour, and that's mostly so we're looking at fruit for ripeness and things like that. Whereas giraffe feed off leaves. So it's quite an interesting one. There's no obvious apparent reason for them to see in colour. It's one of those lovely little anomalies you get out in the African bush. Now, War Machine said they've had a chance to see the giraffe at their local zoo, and its tongue was at least as long as your forearm. Well, War Machine, I'm not sure how long your forearm is, so it's quite difficult for me to guess. But yes, they do have very long tongues. And I think that is our giraffes gone. Now, I've got a feeling we might get a little damp this evening. The temperature's changed slightly and there's a slight humidity in the air. And of course I forgot my rain jacket. Dave, did you bring your rain jacket? No. That's why it's going to rain, because we didn't bring our rain jackets. Well done, Sarah. That is spot on correct. A giraffe's tongue around 18 to 20 inches, 20 inches being at the long point. For those of us who work in the metrics, that's about 50 centimeters, so incredibly long. Now, the wind has stopped, and the wind was blowing quite strongly earlier. So what I'm hoping is, even though it's quite dull and moggy today, is that now that the wind's stopped, we might get a chance to do a little bit of birding. And I'm in Arathusa at the moment, in the Marikana River. Well, the dry riverbed of the Marikana. And I'm hoping to find some birds. Now, of course, we don't want the birds to be at the tops of the trees that don't have any leaves on them, because it will make it very difficult to see with that blowout. So what we're looking for in this little riverbed is skulking species. So robins, firefinches, waxbills, things that are going to be down along the ground, and hopefully will give us a good view. And I always hope for an encounter with Anderson. He occasionally comes here. Those of you not sure who Anderson is a massive male leopard that holds territory right on the edge of our area. I've only ever seen him once, but he is an incredibly large boy. I think the weather is also playing absolute havoc with our comms. I can't hear a thing, unfortunately. I'm just getting static from final control. So I think that's weather and the fact that we're sitting low. Dave, are we still able to take this off the car or not? Not now, though. Oh dear. Yes. Well, we're going to have to come back when we have the camera removable and bring a big, or we can take our spotlight. But I'm going to go have a quick look anyway. And you guys are going to have to remind me in the next week that I have to come back here. Because we always try to film those darn bats when they're flying. And this looks to me like an excellent place if I was a bat to snooze. Make sure there are no snakes first. Ooh, yes, I definitely think if I was a bat, I'd live here. So once we get that all sorted, we'll take the spotlight, see if we can see some roosting bats up there. Excitement, yay! Now, this normally happens about a month earlier, but it's happened because of the no rain scenario, and I think this little bit of rain is kicked certain tree species into gear. And possibly one of the most beautiful flowering trees is flowering, and it attracts one of the most beautiful birds, and I can hear them chittering away. Those are, of course, sunbirds, and we're about to see the reason the weeping boerbean weeps. Okay, let's have a quick look here to see if we can see the sunbirds as well. Right, wow, I try to spot the sunbirds. I'm sure Dave is going to be able to show you those incredibly beautiful. Oh dear, I didn't take the light into account. Dave, can you work some magic? So they're not all open yet. They haven't quite opened flowering. But there we go, look at that. That's the weeping boerbean's flowers. Now, they weep from those flowers. They produce an incredibly sweet sap. And it weeps, it drips from the tree, causing it to weep. Okay, Dave, I've spotted the sunbirds. And are chirping around. Okay, let's go off to the left. Okay, up a bit. And zoom and slightly to the right. To the right, to the right. Down a little bit. There. Okay, up. They're popping around there. Let's have a look now. There. You see that movement there at the back? There we go. So, dead center. And let's see if it pops out into visual where we can get an identifier on this sunbird. Isn't this exciting? That is a female. Oh. And they're very fast. And it looks like they have departed us. But there's a very high-pitched that you're hearing, which is an unusual call for a bird. A call we normally know as a very sort of liquid chortle is the best way I can describe it. And I can see him, Dave. If you come... Oh, you've seen the sunbirds?
No.
If you come out again, to the right, you see... Oh, he's moved. Terrible creature. Oh, that very nasal to the left of it. And lower down a bit. And there somewhere. Slightly up to the right. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. Oh. Now, it's not their normal call. There's the normal call. And it's a black-headed oriole. And they do have that very nasal, almost sounds like they're complaining. But their normal call is that liquid chortle. And I'm really hoping with some of these trees in flower that we're going to be able to show you some spectacular sunbirds. I like the scarlet-chested. We're going to have one last gander. I can hear the sunbird chittering away still. They're not being very kind to us, and the light's not helping us, because normally when the light is bright you catch that incredible sort of color off the sunbirds. Well, oh, it looks like Dave might have spotted one. That is not a sunbird, that is a Cape glossy starling. You can hear them, but we can't see them. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the sunbird calls sound very similar, but I would say I'm 89% certain that that's a white-bellied sunbird calling. Anyway, nice to see a boerbean in flower, and definitely a spot to hit on a good sunny morning to catch some sunbirds. And unfortunately, I'm still struggling to hear final control. I think this weather is affecting our communications. So we're going to make our way up and out of the Marakene River. Hopefully that'll improve my comms so I can hear your questions. Sorry, guys. But that doesn't mean don't send questions. I should be out shortly, so then I will be able to hear them. # Safari Live. or questions@wildearth.tv. Now, there should be another flower coming up quite soon. What do you think, Dave? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm going to find a flower? Dave believes I can find a flower. I'm the flower whisperer. They should be flowering. Oh dear. I found the plant, but there seem... Oh, there's two. Right next to you there, Dave. There we go. And there's a white plumbago. And very, very pretty. Now, this is also traditionally known as the tattoo plant. Now, it only really grows in the bottom of little riverbeds like we're in at the moment. And if you take out the roots and you wrap them around your arm and leave them there for a while, it will actually scar your skin. And it's very acidic, the roots, and it actually burns. And it was used for a traditional scarring and make yourself look more fierce and all those type of things. Quite glad I don't have to do that. It sounds quite painful. I think we should do it to Dave, though, to test. What do you think, Dave? Should I wrap some plumbago roots around you? Just a bad idea. Maybe next time. Okay, so I do love these little river systems. I mean, these massive trees all around. And as I said, the bourbeens are going to have started flowering, so that's always exciting. And they really collect a plethora of creatures, not only the sunbirds, but lots of different really cool little insects will be feeding off that shortly. Yeah, we're nearly out of the drainage line where we should be able to hear final control again. Take a quick poke past Red Dam. Even though there is water all over the place, quite a lot of animals will habitually drink from that spot because it happens to be on their territorial route. Now there's that flower that I showed you on the first segment of yesterday's drive, right in front of us, Dave. No, that's the fruit of the flower. This right hanging over here. Yes, right when I said, there we go. The flowers of a russet bush willow. Now, I keep checking all the flowers because you get some absolutely gorgeous insects around them. Fruit chafers and butterflies. It's not a good day. Insects prefer the warmer days. But what I am hoping, as we get later on this drive, we can go look for one of my favorite things in the African bush, which is frogs. And I think what I'll do is I'll go on camera and I'll make Dave wade in the mud to fetch them. His nickname is Dangerous Dave, after all. Dangerous Dave. You will never be known as Downpour. You can't give yourself your own title. It's not allowed, David. Okay. So we're about a few minutes away from the water hole at Red Dam. I wonder if the hippopotamus is still present. Oh, sunbird. You got him, Dave? Come out. We haven't just come out some more. This there. There he is. Zoom. And the light's bad, but there we go. It's a little white-bellied sunbird. Yay! I didn't think we were going to get lucky with one. There you go. Zvit. They're very vocal little birds, sunbirds. Now this is the most common, off he goes, sunbird species we get here. While we continue our adventure down or up the Marikeni River towards Red Dam, we're going to go back to Tayla, who's still with the incredible Nkuhumas.
We are about to watch an aerial attack, everybody, from one of the older cubs that has started a trend of playing on this fallen bush willow. Now, the older cub is is very clumsy as is. So I can't imagine these little teddy bears are going to come and do too much better on this tree. Now the one that's on top of the tree keeps looking like it wants to pounce down on the rest, but you can see struggling to get his footing. Oh, that is too adorable for words. I'm going to even have to take 1 or 2 pictures. Remember, everybody, this is me taking my snapshots. So I hope you all taking your snapshots too, because this is pretty spectacular. You don't often see lions climbing trees, well, especially in South Africa. I know in Kenya and Tanzania that the lions will actually try and climb trees to avoid all the flies and things that bother them down on the ground. Now, they don't do this here in South Africa. However, a fallen tree for some young cubs, obviously, provides a jungle gym. And it gives them opportunity to test their strengths. Look at that. This is quite spectacular, everybody. Oh, don't wedge yourself in there. Now, as easy as it is for lions to climb up trees, it's obviously a little bit more difficult coming down. Even this small fallen tree is proving to be slightly difficult. So we have to say thank you so much to all the elephants for uprooting this bush willow. It has now provided much fun and much peace and quiet for the adult females. Look at that, bite that. That's quite cute. You can see that one's biting on the tree, very much like your child at home would need to bite something to teeth. That's exactly what these lions are doing. It feels good on their teeth. Oh, no, that didn't work, but try again. Getting little claws coming out now, holding on tight. Yes, I think you need to try. It has given up now. Maybe try a little bit closer to the ground. You can see these little ones, though, not quite venturing up top. Oh, this is wonderful. This is actually almost better than watching the lions eat a carcass, is seeing these little ones. Now, I'm hoping all 8 of them are going to come round. We've got a 5th one coming to join. Yes, go and play with your siblings. Don't look at us like that. Oh, my goodness. Wasn't that amazing? Look at them wrestling each other. How spectacular is that? Really, really wonderful. Right, I'm going to hang around and watch these little cubs play some more. But let's go to Brent, and he's doing a big birding day by the likes of it.
So on Djuma, we regularly see the pair of pale morph Wahlberg's eagle that nest quite close to the Djuma Dam cam. But there we go. This is the dark morph Wahlberg's eagle. Now you see that very distinct little crest he's got there. And I think they do have a nest here. Looks like it needs a bit of rebuilding. Now Wahlbergs will return to the same nest year after year. Looking all ruffled up because of the wind and the cool temperature. So the same principle as the animals when they ruffle their fur to catch air between their body and their fur, and it heats up that air and forms an insulative layer. It's exactly the same as what birds do with their feathers. But I don't think he's going anywhere, but we are. Let's turn around. The only reason I came up here is because I spotted him. I was on my way to Red Dam. Now there is a report that there were leopards around here, all these tracks of leopards around here. So you never know, fingers crossed. It sounds like Tingana and a shadow. So we'll just have a quick, careful look through this area. But while we search to add a second cat sighting to our hand, let's go back to the one we've got with Tayla.
We have still got wrestling cats, everybody. It is hysterical. Look at these two using this tree as a barrier between them. Oh, no, now the one on the left is sulking. Obviously got a paw to the face and didn't quite like that. And then we've got one of the younger ones just chewing away, stripping the bark like an elephant would, but not as effective as an elephant, I'm afraid, and not doing it for the same reasons. Look at them. They're getting better. They're sort of learning from their mistakes on how to jump from that position. It's a little bit high for them, but maybe it'll learn with a run-up. It'll be able to do quite well. Fantastic scratching posts for these two. Like I said, moms are very happy. And oh, we've got one coming right up to us. Are you going to go up the termite mound? Look at that. That's stuck right next to my door. Oh, it's going to get attacked. So they've been bouncing between this termite mound and the fallen log. No. Forward. Moving on now. Yes, I'm a big scary vehicle. Watch out. See how they always look over their shoulders. Just uncertain. Oh, look at this. Look at this. No? That's sneaky. No, come and sit on top. It's okay if you sit there. It's so close to my cruiser, to my vehicle. Rusty, are you enjoying the lions being so nice and close to you? See them. Oh, now they're getting very rough. Careful. This one looks like it's got a bit of a bee in its bonnet. Going to one of the females for reassurance. So if you've just started watching, everybody, we are watching the Nkuhumas Pride on the lovely Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands of South Africa. We're watching them wrestle and play. Now, enough of me. Let's get back to these wonderful fluffy cats. You can see them jumping around there. Oh, wow, there we go. That was a serious takedown. Oh, Mom just got very unhappy with that little one. Now they're climbing again. So go and climb this other tree that we have a nice view of. I love how they fight with something between them. You can see the little ones have also got ticks on them too. Lots of ticks on their ears. Now none of them have started eating the carcass yet. They're all still sleeping. One female looks like she may be waking up, but don't want to be just too optimistic just yet. Lovely lions. See that one as it ran away, given a little ankle tap. Yeah. We'll teach you. Ba, 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 ba. Little boxing match going on. I'm just taking a moment just to enjoy all of this. It's actually just too spectacular. Oh, look, we've got them up the tree again. Holding on for dear life. Look at that. Quite the contortionist. Be careful, hold on. Oh no, venturing into new ground. No one's gone that far just yet. Be careful. I'm very impressed. One of the younger ones. Oh, hang on. Oh my goodness. Look how close that was, everybody. I think we're going to have a female go over and feed on the carcass. So we're definitely going to do some repositioning. And we've got another little cub Basil just sneaking and stalking us. Can you see right here again? Look at that. What are you going to do? You better not be stalking me, youngster. I'm going up the termite mound again, yes? Oh my goodness, no ways. That is so close. You're going to hear me snapping away. This is pretty spectacular. Wow. Now, something that we've been looking at with these cubs is that we're wondering, and I know Nicole from Ohio is wondering, why are their eyes so much darker than the adults? And we've seen it from when they're born, when they're just a few days old, if you're lucky enough to see a lion cub of that age. They're completely black. And as they start to get older, they start to take on a color. Like you can see with some of these youngsters, they look black. Now we'll try and zoom into some of their eyes. Yeah, I got a little bit scared. And they're coloring of the iris is going to start coming through now. Now listen, little one, that's going to be a big mistake. Now, Nicole, I'm not exactly sure at what age exactly the color starts to come through, but we sort of start seeing it from about, oh my goodness, that one's going to get into lots of trouble. We start seeing it at about 2-3 months. We start to see the darkness starting to disappear. That is the bravest little cub I've ever seen, and what a fantastic male this is. He's being a really good sport. Normally they don't have a great tolerance of the cubs, so the fact that he allowed that little one to do that, that's awesome. That is great. They don't often get to play around with the males so much. Very, very nice to see. That could be one of the few times that I've actually ever seen a little cub manage that without being swiped at. Wow. So I hope to see all of your screenshots a bit later. Remember, you can hashtag Safari Live, or you can even email us with any questions or with any of your pictures to questions@wildearth.tv. And we're actually having a fantastic afternoon with all of these lions. Ah, lovely, everybody. I've just got a little whisper in my ear from Louise that Brent has got a hippopotamus for all of you. Enjoy.
Well, he just got shy. Oh no, there he is, back again. So that little hippo, or that young hippo bull, still at Red Dam. Funny looking creatures, aren't they? There we go, we're sitting here. And I just also kept quiet. We've been listening for a little bit, just in case those leopards are on the move and get spotted by something. Well, it is great, isn't it? This super zoom. I mean, we're able to really get in there. Now, he might head out a bit earlier this evening to feed. And the sun's not beating down. It's a cool evening. And of course, as always when we're at a waterhole, there's often the resident bird species. And now, at almost every waterhole we ever go to, we have the resident blacksmith lapwings on the water's edge. Oh, Dave, to the left, to the left. There we go. Oh, dangerous. Hello. So there we go. Every little bit of water. You almost always find a pair of blacksmith lapwings. That feeding off probably microscopic little insects. Oh, did you hear that, Dave? I heard a Franklin alarm call in the distance. I wonder if it's not due to what that is. What is that? My verkykers. Now that is Afrikaans for far lookers. A very apt name for a pair of binoculars. My verkykers. So let me look in my far lookers. And I think it's the other pair of that Wahlberg's eagle. So straight ahead into the distance. Oh, there we go. I think that is a little Wahlberg's eagle. And now that's quite close to the other one we were looking at earlier, so I think that's the other member of the pair. But alas, no alarm calls breaking the silence of the cool African evening. So I think it's time to move on. Remember, this is a live African safari. Hashtag Safari Live, questions at WildEarth.tv. If you'd like to have a chat about what we're seeing. Our fans wondering whether Wahlbergs migrate in their pairs or take a little hiatus. As far as I understand, they migrate in their pairs, Fran. They are completely monogamous. Oh, we're having there's a little traffic jam. Maybe I could come past. There we go. How's it? Nice to see you. Having a nice little bumble. All enjoy. Looking for those leopards.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Enjoy. Cheers. Now everyone, that is Vernon, who is the general manager of Arathusa Safari Lodge. And we are presently driving on Arathusa, seeing what we can see. Okay, while we continue to peruse Arathusa, let's go back to Tayla and Nkuhumas.
We are still with these wonderful lions, everyone. And our youngest Nkuhuma hasn't moved much at all. She's still sleeping quite nicely with a Birmingham boy, almost on her heels. Now, one of the females has moved off, looking over my shoulder to feed, but she hasn't been feeding too much. Now we're going to try and find a good spot. These cubs have moved away from their tree, everybody. Let's see, wait, we've got a contender coming through. They keep moving around, everybody, so I'm trying to shuffle in my front seat so don't obstruct your view. Yes, come back to the tree now, because we loved watching you up there. However, I suspect, everybody, that they've been playing so much that I think that sugar rush is going to die down soon. I think they may go have a little siesta, but I don't think it will be for too long. The playing has sort of subsided quite a bit now. They're not racing around and tumbling and tackling each other as much. But we've still got one who's enjoying the tree and the bendy branch that's attached to it. Oh, big yawn. Very nice. Here we go, girl. If you get up, we know the Birmingham is going to sit up. Now looking over at that other female. Let's see. I think if these two go over to that carcass, we could potentially follow them. So he is sticking his nose towards her rear end. He's just trying to pick up on her scent to see if she is coming into estrus or not. He's finally given her a little bit of space to walk. Now that we have got an opportunity to reverse as well, let's try reposition, everybody. So there's going to be a little bit of movement. But we've got a good spot, and then hopefully we'll get to see these lions eating. Whee, you can see me reverse a bit. Now, we're obviously seeing all these wonderful... Oh, we've got mating lions! Mating lions! Now, this shouldn't last for long, everybody. I'm not going to say anything, everybody. I'm just going to sit quietly. Here we go. Let's see if she rolls over. Did you accept that, girl? That was amazing. It's the first time, there we go, that she has, that I've seen that she's allowed him to mate with her. So that's very, very exciting. And now, if this is indeed the first time that they have mated, this is now going to go on every 15 minutes or so. So it's going to be quite exciting to watch. And Angela wanted to know what the gestation period of the big cats is. Now, Angela, for looking at this lioness after she's mated with this male, hopefully in about 3.5 months' time, she will give birth to some cubs. Will be her first litter, though, and this mating is going to go on for the next 3 or 4 days. So hopefully she does take to him, and then we'll have another set of cubs. It's quite exciting. Now, I'm just trying to work out. So we've got them, and now we've also got the females that are moving around. I'm hiding. You see that? Now I wonder if that one female is going to potentially go and drink water. Now we know the buffalo carcass is not going anywhere. And we know these lions are going to eat again. I think they're off to go and drink some water. I think we should follow these bundles of joy and go and watch them drink. Should we do that, Wium? What do you think? Because I think we will see these lions eat, but we'll see them eat a little bit later. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a variety. Dam's not too far. Look at them, all the other lionesses. They've got their heads up too. Maybe they're going to follow. Let's do that. Let's follow the lioness. Now, we'll try and... No, are you coming back now? So what did you go all the way over there for? Okay, I'm just going to hold on tight before I move, because now she seems to be doing something else. Very indecisive. Maybe she's waiting for all the cubs to come over to her. What's your story, madam? Now I can also smell lots of lion dung. I'm going to try and avoid driving over the lion dung. You can see the other lioness is also looking a little bit more vibrant. Is that other female using the luxuries? It looks like she's squatting slightly. Maybe she was just being kind enough. We can't see because of the tree. But she does look like she's in a squatting position. Perhaps she was just being kind and moving away to defecate rather than defecating right on top of each other. Because that smell is vile. You can imagine if you just ate 10 kilograms of meat. It's not good. Well, for them, for the lions, it's good, but it doesn't smell good. I'm grooming the inside of her paw just to see if there's any thorns, any sticks in it. Looks like our lovely girl, Amber Eyes. Now, I can hear contact calling in the distance from the other female, and one more female has got up. So I suspect that all the females are going to get up and move. Maybe she was just waiting, and you can see Amber Eyes has still got a line of blood on her cheek that she hasn't managed to clean just yet. Yes, she's contact calling the others. Farah, so Farah would like to know, can the lions kill a buffalo quicker than what they killed it last night? Now, Farah, I think that they killed it in just over 50 minutes. That's pretty quick. I've seen buffalo that have taken 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes to die, and they've had big males with them. So I think these females did a sterling job and were very much effective in bringing down that buffalo in the quickest possible time. Now, Farah, if there were another 5 female lionesses, they definitely would have killed it, I think, a lot quicker, because it would have been more biting on disemboweling, and yes, they would have killed it quicker. But for these 5, that was fantastic. That was really good timing. What did you do? Just use the restrooms? Made all that noise, and now you're coming back. Okay, everybody, I was wrong. I thought they were going to drink water. It doesn't seem like it anymore. Look at these 3. And comes another one. Are you stalking? Look at the stalking technique. Trying to get low to the ground there. Hasn't quite worked out how to stalk properly just yet. Bum is normally raised in the air. Okay. Crawl, crawl, crawl. You got to build those muscles up. You got to keep that stalk for longer, I'm afraid, if you want to have any hope in trying to catch something when you're big and strong. You can see how they sort of bend down, and then they get tired, and then they've got to stand up and run. So like I said, this playing, it's good. It's important for learning a good technique of biting, tripping, pouncing, but it's also building up strength in their muscles. Everyone's picking on that little one. Oh, here we go. Sure, very feisty. And you see them how they always try and go for their back and pounce onto the spine, very much like what we witnessed last night with the buffalo. Found a tree and a termite mound again to play on. That seems to be the favorite toy this afternoon, is fallen trees and termite mounds. And I suspect that once they get a leg that they've detached from the buffalo, if the tail is around, they'll be playing with that shortly. Going over to say hello. Not too bothered in saying hello to Amber Eyes. Coming over to your tree again. Looks like it. Almost. Yes. This is the favorite tree, everybody. That everybody was climbing on earlier. Contemplating life. I think is watching the others quite closely. But they're not really feeding. There's one female that you can't really see her. Hopefully these girls, they're now grooming each other, going to get up and walk that way. You can see Amber Eyes looking as beautiful as always. No, don't go back down. Seeing as we just watched those lions mate, Laura's made a comment saying that she's heard that lions can mate up to 100 times in one day. Now, Laura, that is true. You did read or hear correctly. Now, that will only last for about the first day, though. So, initially, they'll start to mate every 10 to 15 minutes. And as that goes on, the time period sort of slows down. Eventually, it gets to half an hour, then it gets to 45 minutes. And then it's every hour and a half, and that's sort of spread over 3 or 4 days. Just depends how long that female's in estrus for. So it's quite exhausting. You can imagine that the male lion in particular loses condition quite quickly, and he tends to forget about eating. Right. I'm not even going to try and guess what these lionesses are going to do now because I have no idea. But she's going over to the cubs. She's summoning them. Oh my goodness, she's being attacked. No, they're too big to pick up now. You can't pick them up. Let's see if she's maybe going to collect them. What do you want to do with them? This is the second time you've come over and told everybody to come with you. Well, those are obviously her little cubs. All those two that are cuddled quite close to her. Right, we're going to see another little greeting ceremony. Rubbing of the head. There we go. I also want in on that, please. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you so much. I don't know if that's how lions sound, but I like to give them little voices every now and then. Now, I'm sure last night they must have come and drank some water. After they fed, they would have been quite exhausted after taking down that buffalo. Oh, got it in a headlock. Ooh. That noise that's going on over here. Lots of whining. Ooh. Very feisty. Careful now, otherwise Mom's going to come and intervene. Look at this lion. Great technique. Now the older cubs are getting very rough with the youngsters. Oh, they do have much bigger paws than them, and they can fend them off a lot easier. And when they give a swipe, because it's getting very rough, you can often hear the little ones whine and let out a little yelp. But it's important. Well, they keep showing signs that they're waking up, scratching, yawning, grooming. All of those things, but I'm not sure what they're going to do next. I love Amber eyes. Look at those amazing colouring in her eyes. Yes, there we go. I think they decide, no, back down again. You see, this is everybody. This is normally what happens. Is they groom each other, they yawn like this, and then they move. Now we've got our friends coming back from the carcass. They weren't there for very long. The male didn't eat at all. The female had 1 or 2 bites, and I'm glad we didn't go anywhere. Ooh, it's moving off. Ooh, Amber Eyes is not, she's moving away. I don't know if you saw how Amber Eyes got up and moved away. She doesn't seem to be quite keen on the males at all. Now, Sarah, I know you're wondering if this male is going to mate with all the females. It depends, Sarah. It depends if they're in estrus or not. Oh, bless you, Mr. Birmingham. You gave everyone a fright. So, Sarah, he'll only mate with the females that are in estrus. Anyone else he's not particularly interested in, he will leave them. So there are 4 Birminghams, and they all take turns, and whoever sort of just seems to be around doing a little check on the Nkuhumas, and if there are any females that are in estrus at that time, that'll be the male that will mate with that one. It feels like I'm getting a death stare from the Birmingham every now and then, how he glares over. Not that we're anywhere near him. No, he's not looking at us anymore. He's stopped. But the Birminghams are funny looking boys. He's just naturally got a very swollen looking face. He hasn't got a very nice Roman nose. Scarred up, obviously been in lots of fights. Let's see how he's going to tolerate the cubs this time now that he's up. He's very calm with them. It's really amazing to see. Like I said, every other interaction I've ever had with males and cubs is that they always sort of not tolerant at all. They'll, the little one will grab onto a tail and the male will just growl instantly and the little one will let go. But we saw it where we had one of the cubs jump onto the back of this Birmingham not so long ago, and it was quite amazing. He didn't really care. Fantastic. It's quite nice because there's a big yawn, because the little ones obviously want to go up and say hello. I'm quite fascinated by the males, but they don't obviously get an opportunity to really explore them. He's enjoying that scratch, as you can see. He's hit the spot. See what I mean when I say it feels like we're being death stared by this Birmingham when he glances over. I thought everybody had left us in the sighting, but no. Lots of grooming going on, though. I suppose they were very dirty from yesterday. Good afternoon, Alice in Ohio. Now, I know you are wondering if it is possible for a female to be bored when the male is mating. We sort of saw that. Now, Alice, that is the general sorry, I'm stumbling on my words. That is the normal look that you see on a female lion's face when she's being mated with. There's not usually a lot of enthusiasm involved. She just sort of sits there and the male does his job and then she rolls over normally. I don't know if she gets bored. She knows that there we go. She knows that she has to mate copious amounts of time in order to have a good opportunity to accept the sperm. So it's important that they mate numerous times. Look at him. So he's not actually looking at us, everybody. The buffalo carcass is behind us. So I think he keeps glaring over just to make sure that nobody is coming through to try and steal the carcass. But there's no one there anymore. Now they've gone flat again. It's very confusing, everybody. But like I said, I'm so thankful for the wonderful cubs for putting on such a great show this afternoon. You can't still be hungry. You've been eating the entire day. Yeah, I don't think that teat has got any more milk. I'm having a good chuckle to myself. Kyle from Michigan says that in the Jungle Book, the lions are referred to as the king of the jungle. Now, Kyle wants to know, could lions actually survive in a jungle environment? Now, Kyle, I don't know if you know this, but India is the only other place in the world that you can see the big five. Can you believe it? So in India, they have got lions too, and their lions, I've never seen them in real life, but I've seen many documentaries. Their lions are interesting looking things. They are a lot taller than our lions, but they don't have big manes, and I suspect that that's because of the thick jungle sort of undergrowth that they have. Is the same reason how sort of the Asian elephants don't have massive tusks like our African elephants. The vegetation is quite dense, so they've adapted to be sort of tall and slender, not quite as robust as the big African lion, so that they can move through all the vegetation a lot easier. It's quite amazing. So yes, Carl, lions can indeed survive in the jungle in India. I forget which national park, but you could probably Google it, and Google has all the answers to everything. Well, most things. We've got this little cub following one of the females around. You can just hear it crying. Oh no, it's not going. They're just playing again. But one of the other females has now moved over to the carcass, but she's just staring back at us with a belly that's almost touching the floor. But we'll go there in a moment. We'll watch these two little ones jump around. Yes, climb the tree. For those of you who are getting to know me know that I don't like watching sleeping cats. However, this is quite amazing to see. I think let's change position. Let's go around to this carcass, everybody. So we're going to move. Come on, Rusty, don't you give me a heart attack and pretend like you're not going to start. Okay, let's try and reposition. Let's go all the way around. Bump along slowly. Try not to get any punctures in Rusty. Don't feel like changing a tire today, though there would be a very good way to warm up. Is to change a tire. We don't want to drive over the little black stick lily, so we're going to try and avoid that. Okay, I'm going to put foot a little bit because I want to get the best spot. Just please bear with me as I reposition Rusty so that we get a nice view. I think we should go around again. We're going to just do a little detour. We can see them on the left. Oh, we're being stalked. Sorry, I almost lost Wium. I'm watching you. Don't even try your little antics now. We're being stalked by a little lion cub, but I'm driving away from it. Very brave because, of course, Mom is just standing close by. Okay, now we're going to get a nice... Ooh, this is going to be lovely. Let's go a little bit around. There we go. Now we've got a lovely view of the lions on the carcass. That's quite special. Remember, everybody, take your screenshots. I'm also going to take a few screenshots because this is quite nice. Now they've gone from using the fallen tree as a jungle gym to using this buffalo. Oh, wow. That was a good tumble. You get 7 out of 10 for that tumble, which you need to work on your landing next time. That's quite amazing. See, look at this female now. Look how she's covering the stomach contents with the sand. She's taking that sand right up onto the carcass, and they don't mind eating a bit of grit. They'll be all right. But what's important is that they need to hide... Sorry, everyone. Did you see that? That one got a paw full of sand in the face. Now it was sulking. So, as I was saying, they need to cover the scent. And the carcass is not really smelling too foul, but it's the undigested grass that's been sitting in the various stomachs, the different chambers in the stomach, that smells quite foul. Now, that attracts the hyenas and other predators too, and that's something that they don't want to do. They want to keep this carcass hidden, though they haven't done a good job. It's out in the open. Ideally, they need to drag it before the vultures have seen it, under a shrub of some sort, but the vultures are already here, so the vultures have told the animals too that there's... But she's going to just try and... for that little one. But entertaining for us. Look at them rolling and wrestling. Very awesome. We're so lucky to be able to sit and watch something like this every single day. And I think for the last couple of weeks we've had some phenomenal sightings. Well, at least since I've been here, the game viewing has been top notch. I'm starting to wonder if the game viewing up here is better than it is down in the south. The only thing that the south has is they've got quite a good leopard population. But the lions are rocking. Oh, sounds like someone's getting into trouble down with the rest of the pride. Here we go. Now look at all. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lion cubs here. We've just got 3 that have stayed behind. This is quite an amazing sight. So you're all going to have to help me here. I can't get a full shot of all the cubs in the buffalo carcass. My lens is too long. So you're going to have to take some screenshots for me, so I can have a look and share them all a bit later. So remember to hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, and then you can even send questions to questions@wildearth.tv, and you can tag your screenshot. We've got another lion tree climbing lion. Sorry, everybody. They're now climbing on an apple leaf. Look at that. Goodness gracious. I wonder if these lions don't have any Kenyan blood or Tanzanian blood in them, that they are so fascinated with the tree. Now they're chasing each other. Full of beans today. This is truly wonderful. And it's nice, we've had a change of scenery as well. So we've had all different types of trees. First climbing a bush willow, now they've found this apple leaf, to be quite a fun time. Let's see, what are you going to do? Now, see how this female is now scraping out the stomach content, which they ideally should have done last night, and pulled it all out at once. Let's see, she scraped it. Now she's got her head right inside. There's just too much going on, Wium. We don't know who to watch, eh? It's exciting at the carcass. It's exciting by the apple leaf. Another one's going up the tree again. You can see there. They're getting better balanced. I've definitely seen an improvement on the beam this afternoon. And we've got another female coming over to join on the feast. Oh, I'm so happy that we were able to spend most of the afternoon with these lions. I was really worried that we weren't going to be able to stay here the whole time. So I love it when we can sit and watch them sleep, wake up, groom themselves, get up, mate, because we got that today too, climb trees, chase each other, eat the carcass. Pretty amazing. and everybody's left us. It's just us here with the lions now. We have them all to ourselves. Well, I suppose me and however many million people are watching this. Wow, look at those two. Darted off with a dash of speed. I think moms are going to be happy tonight. They're going to have the cubs are going to be exhausted after today's play. They're not interested in eating. They're quite happy just chasing each other. Let's see now. I'm hoping that the others come over too. If we have a look at those two little, well, the cubs on the right that are just standing underneath that female. They're biting on the buffalo at the moment, but their teeth aren't quite strong enough to cut through that hide. And I know Steph from Belgium wants to know, are they drinking milk and eating meat? Yes, they are. So Steph, they actually start eating solids from about 3 months old, which is quite young, but then they're also suckling. They usually are weaned at about 6 months. But they rely on mom or dad for opening up their carcass so that they can chew on the more tender bits. As I said, their teeth, I've still got their little teeth, their milk teeth, and they are unable to cut through that hard buffalo hide. Haven't quite developed the carnassial shear just yet. Learning, so they'll be chewing away. Like that one is chewing on the buffalo ear. Oh my goodness, they are loving this tree. We are loving you loving this tree. Keep climbing. Good exercise. That's cool. That's really amazing. So lovely. It's hanging on for dear life. That is hysterical. Look at it. Oh my goodness. I've never seen... That is so funny. Look at the look on that one's face. So unimpressed. This is like Comedy Central, everybody. I'm having the greatest time here all on my lonesome. And this is the perks of being able to sit and wait and watch events unfold. This is what we sit and we wait for. Imagine if we left a few minutes ago, if we left 20 minutes ago. We would have missed all of this. And I hope you were all having as good of a laugh as I was. And I'm sorry if you had your volume turned up and my laughter was booming in your ears. But I can't contain myself. Nature is just incredible. And this is why these wonderful creatures must stay out in the wild. And luckily, they've got 8.5 million acres of land to roam around on. These lions probably won't even see a third of that. Oh, you can see those two younger ones there. Oh, we're going to have another lion fall off the tree in a moment. See, now that's one of the older ones that's up there, venturing further along. They're getting braver and braver as they go. And obviously their balance is a lot better than some of those youngsters. Another bum shot, everybody. That's the perfect apple leaf bum shot. Here we go now. Pay back, push it off. Lovely. I'm snapping my bum picture. Beautiful. I'm loving all the questions and the comments that are coming in this afternoon. So thank you, JD. You made me giggle. JD says that a leopard's tail seems to be quite expressive, but a lion's tail seems to be made of wiggle wire. I love the use of alliteration there. Oh, 4 cats in a row. And they seem to have no control of it. So, JD, they do have control of it. However, these little ones don't quite know what to do with their tails just yet. So they're still learning. But when they get older, they'll definitely use their tails for communication, for balance, for all sorts of things. We've got another female joining. But for now, it provides much entertainment for us. And so does Mom's tail. It provides a toy for them to chase. You can see the adults are so full. They're here, but they're not really eating. It's like they've just come to do a little inspection. and change the scenery for the little ones. But this is just unbelievable this afternoon. The Nkuhumas and their lovely little cubs are really just putting on a show for all of us at home on this very cold, cloudy day in South Africa. It really doesn't get better than this. I love the way that they walk over the carcass like that. And something I must tell you, when I was sitting in final control yesterday, I was having a good chuckle at James when he was in the Mara, and he had that young lioness come over and try and re-kill the zebra. That was very funny. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. Oh, they're getting brave. Someone's going to get hurt. It's like at home, you know, everybody runs around, chases each other, and then someone starts crying, and then mom comes over and reprimands everybody, and then the fun stops. It sort of happens a little bit with lions too. That one is, look at them, climbing about here. I am not going anywhere, everybody. I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon with Nkuhumas until the sun goes down. But let's go see what Brent Leo Smith has got and how he's doing this afternoon.
Well, of course, Dangerous Dave, not Downpour Dave, Dangerous Dave, has and I have chosen possibly the worst day to go birding, but we are trying. The wind picked up again, so we've migrated back to Djuma, and we're trying a different river system. We're now on the Mawati. Audio is a bit muffled, I apologize. It is because I'm cold and I've put many layers of clothing on. Wait, no, let me try it. There we go. Let's put it there. Is that better, Dave? There we go. Okay, now you can. Now I'm no longer muffled. Now, we can't actually remember the last time we actually saw a bird today. No, I'm only joking. And they're not proving to be very easy, quite jumpy in the wind. But of course, while cruising the Mawati, we always sort of have that sly hope that we can have one of those, oh, leopard track, oh, Karula, oh, cub moments. But I did get an update that she is still on Little Gowrie, so hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow morning she might be back. I was going to torture Dave there for a second, but he's lucky. It flew away. And it's flying back. Time to torture Dave. Oh, it's coming at you. It's charging us, Dave. You got it? It's one of the hardest ones because it flies so fast. It is a butterfly, but I'm afraid it is outwitted Dave. Yes, no, he's gone now, but it was a citrus swallowtail. Hopefully, when the sun's out, we should be able to get some good views of them drinking around the little puddles and pans. Now, unfortunately, this cold weather isn't the greatest for frogs either. But as we get a little bit later, I'm definitely going to head towards some of the water and little pans. See if we can find a frog species or two. Maybe we can find the elusive dwarf puddle frog. Now, the elusive dwarf puddle frog is about the same size as my fingernail.
Did you miss me? Well, the Nkuhumas are still here, everybody, and still chasing each other away. Now they've got a bit of wind, as you can see the winds, the leaves swirling around. And I did reposition a little bit, just in case those little lions decide to go tree climbing and we'll have a better unobstructed view. Well, that's my hope. I might have to reposition a bit more. Look at this one. Are you stalking on top of a buffalo? Right, just sitting there. I thought it was going to jump on one of its siblings. Here's the little girl. See, look at that. Do you see that cheeky expression of that young cub? One of the females was trying to lick and remove the hair. And that cheeky little one over here, there's a little boy, it looks like it, He gave a bit of a growl. It's naughty. No, it's not. It looks like a girl. Sorry, I changed my mind. I hope you're able to hear some of these noises. It's quite amazing. Ooh. What are you doing? No one doesn't know if it's getting into trouble or if it's just a game. Run and hide! Run and hide! Let's see what's going to happen now. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat with excitement. This is so wonderful. Look at all those bums just wiggling as well on the carcass. It's a good bum shot, everybody. You've got a variety. Pity we don't have the buffalo's bum. That would have been perfect. Amazing. Oh my goodness, that one is right inside the carcass. Look at that. Hey? Oh, naughty. Gee, I can't wait to see what this little one's going to look like when it comes out. How dirty it's going to be. Going to be filthy. Mom is going to be very upset. Like I said, we're going to hang around here with Nkuhumas, and I believe Brent has reappeared again.
And another drainage line, another giraffe, except this one isn't skedaddling away from me. And this is a male, so we've seen both male and female giraffe. And of course, on the ever-present red-bulled oxpeckers. There's one, oh, playing who's the king of the ossicone. He was not having any of that. So a big adult male. Oh, we can hear that. That's a Warburg's eagle calling. Now, they call quite often at this time of the year, at the beginning of the breeding season. He's also meandering off into the bush. Young bull, in his prime. Giraffe can live to about 30 years old. Oh, there's lovely long eyelashes. I think he's battering them at you, Dave. But listen to that. Dave, guess what I can hear?
The white-throated robin.
I can hear the nemesis. And also hear a very loud sunbird behind us. Top of that Ziziphus. Got him? That is not a Ziziphus, Dave. Yes, that is the Ziziphus. There you go, top right, the highest branch. There we go. Now, there we go, beautiful. There's two males. Oh, it's such a pity about the color, the light behind them. But those are Morocco sunbirds. So one of the biggest sunbird species we get here. Hey, Dave, pulling out the sunbirds out of the hat. We didn't think we were going to have too much luck with them today. So here we go, Morocco sunbirds. You can see that call is slightly different from the from the white-bellied sunbird. And there they sound almost exactly the same to most people. I can hear this is a bit deeper, in my opinion. Off he goes. But it does keep on. I heard one little whistle from the white-throated nemesis. I think we should change his name to white-throated nemesis. White-throated nemesis bird. Not from the white-throated robin chat. But I had a feeling we might get some birds down in the Milwaukee. It's a little bit more protected from the wind. It's quite pleasant down here. What track is that? That is the hyena. Last night at some point came wandering down the Moati. Now that nemesis made a peep in this little thicket here, would be my guess. Oh, there's another oriole. Seems to be a little bird party going on down here. You can hear that liquid chortle of the black-headed oriole. There we go. You can hear a white-bellied sunbird. You hear that much more higher-pitched, well, for me anyway. There, Dad spotted the black-headed oriole. And of course, a raucous francolin, crested francolin behind us. Oh wait, there we go. You can see very distinct in that black face mask. Now they just love caterpillars, and the other day, just before I went on leave, we saw one eat about 9 greedy guts oriole. And that white-throated robin has gone silent again. As the wind picks up, I think we should go look for some elephants, Dave. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay, let's go look for some elephants. The white-throated robin continues to be the nemesis. Now, Dave is the only cameraman who's actually managed to put the white-throated robin on camera with me. And it's only once that we achieved that feat. Isn't that strange? We've seen more live lion buffalo kills than white-throated robins on Safari Live. There's some fresh elephant tracks heading down the river. So I'm over this robin for today. Tomorrow is yet another day we shall try. But while we go follow up on these nice fresh elephant tracks, let's go see how the Nkuhumas are faring.
I don't know about all of you, but I am having the most amazing afternoon. Wium and I were just saying we don't know where to look anymore. We've got these two who also seem to be trying to re-kill the buffalo. And then we've got the tree climbing lions of the Sabi Sands over there. We've got a termite mound. Can you see that one? Looks like it wants to go inside the termite, and one of the older cubs just at the back. You'll see that one over there. It's very exciting. We literally do not know where to look. And I'd be careful of sticking your paw in a termite mound because they can give you a nasty nick. No, that tree's too big, I think. Or maybe not. Yes, I think so. Very exciting. Attack the tree. Kill the tree. Now come back here and do the same thing to the buffalo. The females are all just sort of sitting around. Another female's coming around now. Oh, it's our honeymoon couple, everybody. And she seems to be a lot more sort of receptive of this male now. Sorry, I was just trying to look. I'm a bit short in the vehicle. Yes, move out into the open of a nice clear view. He's very excited. Possibly when she sits again, he's going to attempt to mount her. See, that slapping with a paw. Come on, girl. See where she's going to sit. No, she gave him a bit of a growl, sort of saying, keep your distance, buddy. Okay. Ooh. Not happy with him. maybe going to take a little bit more courting on this male side. We are surrounded by lions. Look at these two. Look at these two are funny. I know this is quite sad to see this buffalo looking like this, but like I keep saying, these little cubs need to eat to get nice and strong. Look at it. See? Practicing that technique of one day hanging on the edge of a buffalo's nose. Those two practicing trying to jump on the back of a buffalo. That lion was not impressed with it. Oh, sure. And we've got two waiting on the tree, I think, for, like I said, an aerial attack earlier. Oh no, they're just going to be pulled down. That is amazing. Look at all those lions. You have definitely become my favorite lion pride, everybody. The Southern Pride are now out, and the Nkuhumas are in. I can't wait to tell everybody in the Southern Sands how fantastic this pride is. Game viewing, I keep saying this, is just to die for. Now the next thing that I'm excited for is for all these little ones to get a bit older and start hunting. Arcadia has made a very good point, everybody. Arcadia thinks that the reason why these lions are climbing trees is to practice their balance for when they will one day need to jump on the backs of the buffalo. Now, that's probably 100% true. This little one, however, is giving me grief all afternoon. And I'm going to have to give you a stern... Well, I'm going to have to speak to your mother about your behavior. Look at with the evil eye we're getting. Sorry, everybody, my hat's blown off. I'm just putting my hat down on my head. And this little one keeps stalking me. I'm not a buffalo. I'm not to be eaten. This is one of the challenges we as guides face now, is these cubs obviously get very curious and they want to know, I know I'm not supposed to go to that vehicle, but what are you? And they come very close for a serious investigation. What is that female doing? And you see how she's marching off. What have you smelt? What have you seen? Oh, so she just went. Now we've got another female that's. Let's see what this female on the left is going to do. Now they're all going. Wonder if they're going to drink water now. You see this? 3 ladies up and missioning to the east on the fire break. Maybe we're going to have to follow them. I think we're going to have to follow them. It's starting to get freezing, everybody. I'm at some point going to have to put a jacket on. But not yet. The adrenaline is keeping me warm. This icy wind that's coming through is not nice. Speaking of hunting and hunting techniques, Zaki from Kenya, who's been asking some fabulous questions this afternoon, so thank you, Zaki. Zaki wants to know, does the weather sort of have an effect on the way that the cats hunt? Now, yes, it does. Now, a number of different reasons. One, a nice cool day like today, there's lots of clouds, as also it means that this evening is going to be nice and cloudy. So, sorry. I just got like a boost of energy and zooted off. Now, this is going to be a great benefit for these lions to hunt at night when there's no other light available. So no starlight, no moonlight, which means that these lions are going to have a serious advantage. Also, there's a bit of wind. Now, obviously, if they are downwind of an animal, fantastic. That's really good. They really want that so the animals can't smell them. And the wind muffles sound too. On a cool day like it is today as well, they're not going to be using as much energy as they would if they were to hunt on a very, very hot day, which does happen. So I'm not saying that they don't hunt in extreme heat temperatures. It just means on a hot day, though, they're going to use a lot more energy than they would on a cooler day. My goodness, I want to eat or drink whatever these lions have had. because they have got some serious energy. I needed this for our safari marathons that we had over the last 5 days. There we go, my ear. No, it's my ear. I don't know what's going on, everybody. The females have upped and moved away. And they're contact calling. I don't know if you can hear the contact call. I think let's follow those females. We're going to do a bit of repositioning again, everybody. You can see those two are still up. Now I need to go back without driving over the stick. This big log that I don't think Rusty could handle. We're going to go back a little now. Actually, I'm thinking, let's maybe just go reverse out straight. That will be easier than trying to do anything fancy. So we're going to get a good view of these lions again now. I just want to follow the females and see what their story is and where they're going. The lions have cleared. Okay, we can go around the buffalo. Oh, everybody's on the move now. You can actually see them in front of me. Take it out of four-wheel drive. We don't need 4x4 anymore. Sorry, buffalo. And we've got our friend Cheeky on the left. Yes, you're not big and brave. Running back. Right, before the sun sets, let's go and see Brent's pachyderms.
So there we go, we caught up with those elephants. I'm pretty sure those tracks we saw in the Mawati is this herd. Actually looks like quite a big herd, maybe 30 or so. We're right on the periphery. And we've got a single female and her wonderful little calf at the moment. Now you've always got to be a little bit cautious with elephants in the wind. But so far they look nice and relaxed. Hey little guy. Little girl. Yeah, let's move on. So they actually spread out all the way through the bush here. So I'm hoping I'll catch up with them shortly. So they're all moving opposite us. I'm going to go up ahead of them and then just switch off and let them move towards us. Hello, Eddies. Quite a few little ones as well. I recognize the one female there. There we go, a massive marula and a massive herd of elephants. So I'm hoping that they slowly feed towards us. So there are quite a few little ones around. Oh, and there's obviously a fork-tailed drongo in tow, snatching up any insects that might be disturbed by the eddies. There's that female I recognize. Looks in incredibly good condition considering the drought. Very tall, quite a tall female. Elephants almost always on the move. Got to feed those massive frames. Every little morsel counts. Isn't that amazing? I just love that sound. Or just sniffing out. There we go. Hello, madam. There we go. They're doing exactly what I hoped. They're going to walk right up to us. There we go. Out across in front of us. And you can see there's no aggressive display at us at all, even though there's a lot of youngsters here. Quite often it's very important to let them come into your space rather than you. Oh, look at them go. Catch up, don't get left behind. How many have we got in front of us here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a few more behind the bush, so probably about 15. It sounds like there's some more further on, but I think we're going to stick with these ones. Quite a few more spread through the bush there. Oh dear. That's a new development. And I would say that happened during the storm. That wasn't an elephant that pushed over this large tree. It was dead, and I think the wet and the wind caused the roots to come out and it to fall over. Now, of course, that is indirectly from elephants. By debarking that knobthorn, they caused it to expire. So there we go. Sometimes it's so wonderful to just sit quietly with elephants, especially when they're talking to each other. Those low rumbles are so fantastic. Now, Natasha's wondering whether two elephants of the same age could be of different sizes, like people. And yes, of course, Natasha. And a lot depends on genetics and nutrients when they're young. Now, even here, you've got a couple of adult females that are of different size. And I'd say she's the biggest, coming up behind us, of all the females that are in this herd. There she is there. Contentedly wagging her tail while she munches on the African bush. You can see when elephant herds feed, they can be quite spread out. So they're not all competing for the exact same bushes. I'm always amazed at how dexterous they are with their trunks. Now, the herd's about to melt into the bush. They're moving away from the road, so I'm just going to let them be, let them carry on. But Tayla's got the Nkuhumas quenching their thirst.
Right, what you're watching now is the females, everyone has just had a drink, and this female is now urinating, and you're going to see this male is now licking. And there we go. You see that lovely smile that he's doing for us? That is called the Flehmen grimace. And I know Brent was talking about, sorry, James was talking about this, I think, yesterday. Now, the Flehmen grimace allows a lion to pick up the scent of a female. So he passes that scent of the urine through an organ called the Jacobson's organ, which is situated between the nose and the top lip. And that will tell them whether the female's coming into estrus or not. And then the outward expression of that test is that smile that you see. I think my favorite animal that does a Flehmen grimace the best is probably a horse. I think it's quite funny. So when a horse has got its lip all curled up to you, it's because he's testing you. Now he's marking his territory, just letting everybody know that this area is occupied. Also, if any of his brothers come through, they will smell that, and then they know that he is close by and they can pick up on him. They did have a drink, and it is getting quite dark, everybody. So I'm not going to be able to stick with the Nkuhumas for too much longer, but we'll spend a little bit more time with them. But I cannot put a spotlight on them. But we've still got a little bit of light. We're also going to just keep our distance a little bit more, just because it is getting dark. But they're going straight back towards that buffalo kill. They had a very quick drink of water. Now they're heading back again. Before I move, I'm just going to let, there's one female sitting down and one little cub hanging back. You see that male again marking his territory. Be careful. Is this your lovely lady friend? Or has she already moved on? Oh, big yawn. Waking up nicely. Hello, Gracie. Gracie says this afternoon that she's so happy that the little lion cubs managed to get some food, and they've also got toys to play with. So that's very nice. Thank you, Gracie. I'm so glad you're enjoying the show as normal. So yes, sorry, that is the young female that's sat down, that's laying down like that. And they've blocked the road. So we'll just watch from over here. Like I said, we're going to just keep our distance a little bit more now with the light fading. We do have infrared, but it's not quite dark enough. Oh, did you see that? Did you see she's contact calling? Just letting off very, very soft. There we go. I don't know if you could hear that female contact calling. Now, James has also asked this afternoon if these lions, this mating pair, will cause any danger to the young cubs. Now, no, they won't. I don't know if you've noticed that I'm going to say good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Wonderful. Very, very good after watching all these wonderful lions. They do. They're up just ahead. There's a buffalo kill up ahead as well. Yeah. Well, enjoy. I'll see you a bit later. We just had a wonderful group of guests coming through. They're going to go past us very quickly. They're also just coming to have a look at the wonderful lions. Quite exciting, but unfortunately they're not going to have much of an opportunity to spend too much time with them. As I said, the light is fading. Now, sorry, James, Richard, I apologize. I got distracted with your question. But James wants to know, does this mating pair pose a threat to the lion cubs? Because mating can sometimes be aggressive. I don't know if you've noticed Those little cubs have been quite particular about when they go and pay that male a visit. It's sort of when he's moved slightly away from that female. And I don't think those cubs will go up to them when... hang on, what's going on? That female is calling. So those cubs are not going to go up to them when they are mating. They know to stay clear. Can you hear that? Who are you calling? Let me try and move up a little bit further, everybody. But that one female is calling quite a bit. It's getting very dark now, everybody. We're actually going to have to leave very shortly. Right, I'm just going to park up over here. See if she's still contact calling. As you can see, I also put my big jacket on because it's very cold now. But I don't know who she's contact calling to, because all the other lionesses are up ahead except our honeymoon couple. Can you hear that now? Maybe it's a bit better. She's gone very soft now. Louise says you can all hear better. That's good. If not, just turn the volume up really loudly. Now she's gone quiet. Thought I heard another contact call coming from one of the other girls up ahead. But she looks like she's going off on her own mission. Something's got her attention. And you can see the other guide has brought out a spotlight. There aren't any cubs here, so we may be able to put the spotlight on her, but just with the ones, with the little ones, we're going to avoid them. She's very vocal. Let me reposition again, everyone. Just roll back. No, that's not. Just gonna go ahead. Just see. There we go. You can see her in there. So I'm very unsure as to what she's seen or what she's heard, but she's now she's changed direction again. But something caught her attention, and she sort of walked quite far into the thicket. But now she appears to be heading back to the rest. Hopefully the honeymoon couple will stick around for a little bit. We'll be able to spot them. But like I said, unfortunately, if these lions move up and towards the carcass, we're going to have to call it quits this evening. So I was saying how I'm very uncertain as to what that lioness was calling for, and Jackie had a brilliant response. Thank you very much for being very quick on the finger. Jackie thinks that she is calling for a more handsome male lion. You know, Jackie, I must tell you that this Birmingham boy is actually warming up to me now. I wasn't too fond of him in the beginning, but after seeing his reaction to all those young cubs jumping up on him and him being so placid around them, I don't know, I may be attracted to this male lion. I mean, like I said, I've never seen that before. It was really amazing. So I'm actually starting to like him quite a lot. He seems to be very gentle-natured, unlike the two other Birminghams that I've seen. And there the honeymoon couple go off into the distance. We're going to watch them disappear into the distance, as we are not going to be able to put the spotlight, like I said, on those cubs. And it is getting quite dark now, and I think they've been harassed by us for most of the afternoon and deserve a little break from all the cameras and all the action. But they've been very well behaved, and there they go into the distance. Isn't that a wonderful way to end the lions. I thought it was quite great. They did everything and more. So we're going to leave them now, and we're going to carry on and see what other creatures we can find that come out into the night. So for those of you that are just watching this show for the first time, you're going to see I'm armed with a spotlight, as you saw just now. Now, I'm not going to shine my spotlight on any diurnal animals. So when I say diurnal, it means all the animals that come out during the day. We're going to leave those ones alone. So the elephants and the buffalo, just because their eyes don't adjust very well to this darkened light. Whereas the nocturnal creatures, so things like lions, leopards, hyenas, and jackals, as well as bush babies, honey badgers, aardvark or anteaters, all those creatures are nocturnal. They've got very good nighttime vision, and we are able to actually shine the spotlight on them without it affecting their eyes at all. So we'll be able to look for things like that. Now, it is a bit chilly. However, I've never seen so many bush babies in my entire life as to the amount of bush babies I've seen since I've been here. It's quite spectacular. I used to think these animals, you'd never see them. And you know, you just catch a quick glimpse of them every now and then. Well, they're very common, which is quite nice. So that's possibly going to be one of the things we'll be looking for this evening. If they're going to be around, I don't know. I could have just jinxed them. Ooh, I'm revving. There we go. Maybe I must just take the vehicle out of 4x4. Perfect. And now the search will start for the nighttime critters. And because it's cold, I don't know if we're going to see any creepy crawlies, any millipedes, any scorpions, any spiders. Probably not this evening. Maybe some owls. Oh, good. I haven't seen any owls since I've been here. Oh no, I lied. I've seen one scops owl. I have seen an owl. It would be nice to see what else. A Verreaux's eagle owl. I've heard a few of them calling very early in the morning, but I have yet to see one here yet. If you don't know what a Verreaux's eagle owl is, it's the largest species of owl that we get. It's got pink eyelids. It's got quite a bit of white and grey on it, and they're massive. Really, really big owls. If you've seen a scops owl, they're probably about 20 times the size of a scops owl. And chameleons. We haven't seen our first chameleon yet this year. So that's something that we are looking for as well. But they do prefer the warmer weather. So hopefully one of these evenings we'll find some out and about. But I suspect that we're going to get rain. Now, I heard from a few people that work down south that it has been bucketing with rain since this morning, which is fantastic. And also in the greater Kruger, and actually in the Kruger National Park around Lower Sabi, around Paul Kruger, they've had fantastic rain, which is really good. And the weather seems to be coming from that area. The clouds are now dropping slightly. I'm just looking up, checking, and they're getting a nice, do you see that? Look at that. See, they're becoming nice, dark and grey, which is good for us. So hopefully we build up some cumulonimbus clouds. Though ideally we want some, if we do want cumulonimbus clouds to bring us a nice thunderstorm. We had a spectacular thunderstorm, the first set of rain that we got. It was quite frightening. I'm going to admit that I was a little bit scared. I didn't sleep very well that night, and it wasn't a quick thunderstorm that we normally get in these areas. This one lasted for about 6 hours, maybe even a bit longer, maybe even 8 hours. And every time I just sorry, I'm trying to say too many words with S's at the same time. As I would slip on to dreamland, a huge crack of thunder would come through and absolutely frighten me to death. So then I'd sit up again. So I read lots though, and I studied a bit more and did all sorts of other things other than sleep. And then I think at about 4:30, the thunder finally stopped. Then I had to get up for game drive. So it was good. I had a siesta that afternoon though. It was much appreciated. Oh, and we're going to be checking the puddles of water too. Like Brent said, we're looking for some of the puddled frogs. Now, I have never seen a puddled frog before. I've obviously heard them calling, and I've seen lots of photos of them, so it'd be really nice to find one tonight. I'm very keen on amphibians, everybody. I just need to get back into it again, as it's been a while since the frogs and the toads have been out. So it will take me a few days of listening to their calls again. I even have the frog calls on my phone. Can you believe that? Not just the bird calls, the frog calls too. So every day I try and listen to a few of them and try and remember them. But it does help when you hear them out in the bush and associate them with something else. That's nice. So we've been hearing the Tandy sand frog quite a bit. We've been hearing a few of the reed frogs, some of the eastern leopard toads too. They haven't been too chirpy yet. I'll never forget working down in the southern sands. We had quite a few water features around the lodge, and after the first rains, the raucous toads used to inhabit these water features, and they were so noisy. Actually, I'm going to play the call for you. They were so noisy that often people would think it was a recording, and they would tell us, please, can you turn the sounds down? I was hysterical. I always thought, no, we can't turn the sounds down. I'm just trying to find the call for you. It's on my mobile device. A frog calls. And which one are we looking for? A eastern leopard toad. Let's western. Here we go. Are you ready?
Eastern leopard toad.
You even get the Latin name.
Amiciprinus pardalis.
Can you hear that? Quite crazy, isn't it? Now I'm going to play you another one of, I think is it, yes? Let's go with this one. Listen to this one. This is another one that we hear quite a bit. Now imagine when you've got about 10 of these and they're all calling at exactly the same time. Well, not at the same time, in between each other. I was chatting about time sharing for 3 or 4 hours in the night. It's quite painful. And I have a few times actually had to go and remove lots of toads and frogs from swimming pools in the middle of the night. Hang on, do I have a bush baby? Maybe I have a bush baby. Let's see if it's going to hang around. Can you see it there, Wium? It's a bit far. You see those little eyes? No, where'd you go? Don't be naughty. No, it was just there. It was actually probably listening to the frog calls. I'm just going to sneak forward. They do jump. Oh, it's still in there, but it's hiding. So it's straight there, a little bit further. Where did you go? We're looking for an eye shine. I think it's down to the right. There it is. Did you see it just jump? There it is. Fantastic. Oh, goodness. That was nice. Now where did you go? Did you all see it though? We weren't making it up for a split second. It's gone now. I can't see it anymore. It leaped down to the ground, obviously to grab an insect of some sort. I think it's gone. It's jumped away. So it was on the branch, hiding away, listening to us on the frog calls. And then it leaped on down to the ground. I think it did grab a beetle and then jump back up. And now it's gone. Ah, okay. Well, we got to see one, and I know Betty was hoping to see a bush baby this evening too. So there we go, Betty, you got to see a bush baby very quickly. So while I carry on looking for other wonderful creatures of the night, I think let's see how Brent's doing. I think he's got a puddle for you.
Now, this windy weather is not great for frogs. So, of course, their predators are quite diverse, owls being one of them. Now, I'm just trying to see, sometimes you get lucky on the edge of the pans. But also, we're not really going to see a lot of the more aquatic species of frogs just yet. So they need nice grass cover on the edge, and that hasn't quite grown yet, as you can see over there. So there's not much place for them to hide in the grass and call safely. But anyway, let's keep checking. No luck at Chile Pan, which means frog pan. there ain't no frogs at the frog pan. Of course, generally the easiest one of those frogs to hear are the toads. Now they have a very, I'll find you a picture now. They have a very distinct, there's a very distinct difference between frogs and toads, even though toads are frogs. Aha. Now, most of the toads fall in the family Biufo. There's another. Oh, now I've got to test my frog knowledge. That actually sounds like a golden leaf-folding frog. I haven't heard one of those in months. It's been so long since I heard frogs. Excuse me if I'm a bit rusty, but I can hear one calling. There's another little wallow here. Very high-pitched. I think I can see it as well, Dave. Just zoom there. That little white spot there. Is that a frog? No. Well, let's try and get a bit closer. Now, with all the frogs, they all live in different spots. That's not a frog. Now, I'm guessing that frog is going to be calling from a protected area like that. Maybe. I'm quite surprised to hear that frog already. Let me see. Where is it now? It's gone quiet now that we're a bit closer. Okay, let's see. I'm going to show you that toad that I was going to originally, and then I'll see if I can find a picture of the golden leaf-folding frog for you. Toads, 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 toads. There we go. Not pygmy toads. We want... There we go. It's in the trees. It's in this area here. Now it's called a golden leaf-folding frog because it actually folds the leaves and lays their eggs inside a little capsule there, so it's protected. Any toad will do. There we go. It's a more common one. The eastern olive toad. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. No, we don't want that. Oh, there we go. We want the picture. There's the picture of the toad. Now, oh, it won't let me zoom. Okay, you're going to have to zoom for me, Dave. You see there's that protrusion behind its eyes. Now, that's called a bufo gland, and it releases bufotoxin. So if any of you had pets, dogs or cats at home, that grab a hold of a toad and they start foaming at the mouth, it's their defensive mechanism against being eaten. So there we go. Oopsie, there's a toad. Okay. Now let me just quickly look for these. There we go. Golden. Okay. So I'm actually not 100% sure that was a golden leaf-folding frog. I've just talked about them so much, I need to show them to you now. I'm a bit rusty, but that's the golden leaf-folding frog, and they are tiny. I mean, really tiny. That's probably this big. I mean, literally a little bit bigger than my thumbnail. But they are exquisite, and they are quite common here, so hopefully if we get a bit more rain, we'll be able to find you some of them. Anyway. Well, I'm going to keep moving. Hopefully something else pops up. Hi, Jamie Lynn. Jamie Lynn would like to know why or how do the frogs make the sounds that they make, and why are they all different? Well, there's a couple of very good reasons for all of that. So we'll start with the why. And when most things make a noise, it's to attract the ladies or to protect territory. So it is territorial calls and attracting of mate calls. Now, why do they all sound different? because they're different species. And also quite often female frogs will choose a male frog based on his voice. Who's the loudest, who's the clearest. So that's how they often choose their mates. And how they do it is through their vocal cords. They've got big, incredible lung capacity, and these big sacs that they'll inflate and then push the air through to make the different various noises. Hi, Debbie in Vancouver. Debbie says, once the frogs are really out, she'd love to challenge myself and Tayla to an amphibian competition. I don't think we'll need too much encouraging there, Debbie. I'm a great fan of the amphibians. But as I said, not the greatest night for frogging, and better for a clear, windless night. But it's been wonderful having you on this sunset safari. We saw some lovely birds, some lovely elephants, and of course you got to spend some amazing time with the incredible Nkuhumas. So, from a dangerous Dave, the dish, he's carrying on, and myself, we'll see you tomorrow for a whole batch of new safaris. And let's go over to Tayla for the last bit of drive.
We haven't found anything else just yet. We're looking though. We're scanning the trees, looking on the ground, waiting to see that tapetum flash reflect back at us. Ooh, hang on. Whose footprints do I have? Hang on everybody, I just want to have a very quick look as to whose big footprint I have. Looks like a lion's footprint, I think. Let me just double check. So it's going to be difficult for all of you to see because I will need to just try and have a look as well. Oh no. Looks like a very big hyena. And I want to just show you something. I'm going to go back. So look at that. Can you see those footprints there? It's quite difficult. Now they look massive. They look like they're bigger than the size of my hand. So when I first looked at them from the distance, I thought, ooh, a lion has walked here. However, it's not. It is hyena footprints. But just splayed very largely in the soft sand. So that can be quite tricky. And that's why it's always good just to double check. But there were some clearer hyena tracks up on here. So let's carry on down this road. They don't seem to be too old. I just saw some more fresh ones on the left-hand side of the on the road. Maybe we manage to pick up on this hyena that was trotting down here. That would be nice, wouldn't it? A good way to end the show. Woo! Having a quick little scan through here. Remember everybody, tomorrow morning, like this afternoon, we have changed the time. So tomorrow we'll be starting at 5:30 to 8:30 in the morning, Central African time. So we're running half an hour earlier to the times that you've been used to. And it's good. It means we're going to actually see the sun rise now. The sun was just beating us the last few weeks. Hyena, hyena, where are you? So, quick question for Wium. James Richard wanted to know Wium's opinion, if he thinks that the Pride of Lions was good enough instead of finding the leopard that he was hoping for. And I can see a big grin on Wium's face. He's actually disagreeing. He would have preferred a leopard. I loved it though. Now everybody, it's been an absolutely wonderful afternoon with all of you once again. We have to say a big thank you to the Nkuhumas because they put on a wonderful show for us, and thank you to the lovely ladies in Final Control. I hope to see you all tomorrow morning bright and early for myself and Wium. Have a lovely day.